Hello and welcome to your Positive and Negative Space Remote Learning Part 1. For this lesson you will need a sketchbook and a pencil because we're going to be taking down some key terms and making a mind map. You're going to need a minimum of 6 small household objects because we're going to be making a small series of sculptures. And lastly, you're going to need a camera to document your artwork. So what is positive and negative space? Positive space is a solid object or collection of objects. And negative space is the area that surrounds the positive space. So it's the area surrounding the object. Let's put that learning to practice. In your sketchbooks, I would like you to write which positive space matches which negative space. So that means I would like you to write down each number and letter which go together. You can pause this video whilst you complete the activity. We're now going to start developing our mind map. So I'd like you to go to the next clean page in your sketchbook and in the centre of the page write the title Positive and Negative Space. We're then going to add a branch saying positive space and putting the definition of the object or objects. I'd then like you to add negative space and its definition of the area surrounding an object or objects. I'm now going to introduce you to a bit of assemblage sculpture. So on the next page, I'm going to show you a short video. For the moment, you can pause this video to make sure you've got down all of those key terms.
Assemblage is a way of making art in which various or disparate things that are traditionally non-art materials are brought together in a variety of ways, but that have at their core basically glue. Assemblage is sort of cut and paste.
Making art out of everything. That was what was in the air in the 50s.
Some of the major artists of assemblage are Kurt Schwitters, Joseph Cornell, Robert Rauschenberg, Bruce Conner, Betty Saar.
I always considered myself a hunter and gatherer, hunting for things, always walking with my head down looking for stuff and gathering things like that. So in a way, I'm like a recycler. I'm recycling, first of all, the objects with one another and also recycling to change their story to my story, or how I interpret what those objects say to each other.
When assemblage works, when it's really great, the combination of those disparate things gets you a third term. It gets you some like magical new thing.
Assemblage is an additive process. So you put things on top of each other, and some objects don't want to be next to each other. They're rejected, so I'm mostly listening to the objects, telling what to do.
For a lot of assemblage artists, there is a kind of environmental quality to it. And by that I mean, they don't see the need necessarily to make anything new. You would just refashion what already exists.
I hope you enjoyed that short clip. I'd like you to go back to your mind map and we're going to add a little bit of a meaning for assemblage sculpture. So artists who worked in this way were repurposing non-traditional art materials to create new works of art. And some of the key artists who made assemblage art were Kurt Schwitters, Betty Saar, and the third one we're going to look at is Joseph Beuys. You can pause this video to make sure you've gotten down all of those points. So Joseph Beuys was a contemporary artist And what that means is it means he made artwork within the 20th and 21st century. His artwork was often regarded as happen art, which means he made art in response to social happenings and things that were happening around him. And his connection with assemblage art is that he used everyday found objects to create art installations. Here are some examples of his work. Look how he works with the space, so how he curates his work. And also you can see here how he's repurposed all of those found objects. We're going to add a couple more bits to your mind map. So off Joseph Beuys, I would like you to add that he created installations using everyday found objects. And I'd also like you to add the fact that he was a contemporary artist. And what that means is it's artwork that is made within the 20th and 21st century. You can pause this video to make sure you've gotten down all of those terms. So today I would like you to make your own assemblage art. So I would like you to find 6 small household objects. Think about objects that you may use every day. I've put some symbols here to give you some ideas of what you could be looking for. Pause this video whilst you collect some materials. So what I would like you to do with your 6 objects is start building them up and seeing how you can display them in different ways. And what you are doing is you're making your own assemblage sculptures. So when you're making artwork, it's important that you document everything you are doing. So referring back to the beginning, I would like you to be thinking about your positive and negative space. So we're not only thinking about the object we're making, but we're also thinking about the space around it. And when you're thinking about the space around it, you might start to think how you want to document it. So you can see here when I began to make my sculptures, I wasn't thinking about where and how I was documenting my artwork. As I developed my sculptures, I then started to photograph them on a white background. And this gives me a better understanding of the negative space around the sculpture. I would now like you to pause the video and to develop 3 of your own assemblage sculptures. When you've done this, I would like you to photograph each of your artworks. For your homework this week, I would like you to complete 2 tasks. The first task is to email me 3 photographs of your assemblage artwork. The second task is I'd like you to follow the link I've sent to you and complete the Microsoft form titled Evaluate My Assemblage Artwork. If you cannot access Microsoft Forms, I can email you an alternative format. But just so as you know, this will be the same amount of work, it will just be in a less interactive format. And it will also be due for the next lesson. I look forward to seeing all of your artwork. If you would like to learn more about this topic, I will add the links here to the description of the video. I have also listed here some additional artists who use assemblage within their practice. If you would like to go one step further, perhaps try and find your own artist and see how they approach assemblage art.